Hey folks, welcome back to Indaba Africa. This is Chris once again. And the topic of this short video is the pool draw for the Rugby World Cup 2023 in France. France, the country that had the least impressive proposal for hosting the Rugby World Cup. South Africa, Ireland, and France were the finalists for that. And World Rugby decided in their infinite wisdom to go with the worst bid. That would be France. But nonetheless, that's what we have. That's what we're stuck with. And the Rugby World Cup 2023 will be taking France. And today we had the pool draw. That's right. The 14th of December 2020. Actually got to watch this one. And we recently had the pool draw for the 2021 World Cup. Wait. I just said 2023. How? The World Cup's every 2 years? No, it's not, ladies and gentlemen. But World Rugby and its infinite wokeness and its desire to diminish the distinctiveness of things, all things related to humans and human interaction, like all the other woke sports bodies out there, decided that they would rename the Women's Rugby World Cup to be the Rugby World Cup. We already had a Rugby World Cup. So the better answer, in my view, would have been to call it the Men's Rugby World Cup and the Women's Rugby World Cup. But no, we're just going to be androgynous here. But let's not dwell onto that topic. Let's move on to the pool draw. So we went from 5 different bands, including the top band, which was the semifinal finishers from the 2019 Rugby World Cup, which, of course, would include South Africa, New Zealand, England, and Wales, and then went down to the next 2 bands based on second and third place finishes in the pool stages, and then those being drawn from the qualifiers from around the world, as well as what's used to be known as the repage, now known as the qualifier. And so we get the 20 teams for the 2023 Rugby World Cup drawn today. And that's what we're going to talk about here briefly in this discussion. So first off, let's talk about Pool A. Pool A winds up being the All Blacks from New Zealand, France, Italy, America's 1, and Africa 1. Just looking at the crystal ball and projecting, America's 1 is likely to be the USA Eagles, and Africa 1, if we're true to form, will likely be the Velviches from Namibia, and I hope it is them. But that's a tough pool. New Zealand is the same pool that in 2015 that the Velviches drew, so they wind up in that pool once again with New Zealand. In Pool B, defending William Webb Ellis Trophy winners, that's right, William Webb Ellis right there on this Rugby World Cup Webb Ellis collection from 2019. The pool winners, or the pool for Pool B is the reigning Rugby World Cup champions, South Africa Springboks, in a tough pool, playing 2 Celtic nations, Ireland, Scotland, and Asia Pacific 1 and Europe 2. Europe 2 could be someone like Romania potentially, because I would expect that probably Georgia will get that top bid there in Europe 1. Pool C, which I think is perhaps the most intriguing pool in this draw, features Wales, Australia, the Wallabies, Fiji, the Flying Fijians, Europe 1, which, as I said, is likely to be Georgia most likely, and the final qualifying winner, which should just be a one-off. That would be like the former repage. This past 2019 Rugby World Cup, that was France, because France lost its number 1 position in the Americas to the USA Eagles, and then lost out number 2 to Uruguay, who qualified as the Americas 2. So that left France in a qualifying tournament with Germany, Hong Kong, and others competing, Kenya, competing for that final position in France, and they finally won that and qualified for the World Cup, and then promptly lost all 3 of the 4 games they're supposed to play. The 4th game would have been against Namibia, and I predicted they would lose that too. But alas, it never came to pass, courtesy of Typhoon Hagibis, which dumped a lot of rain and caused a lot of misery in Japan when I was there for the Rugby World Cup. And so that game was canceled. And so there never was a Canada versus Namibia game. And the Velviches were denied their opportunity for that first ever Rugby World Cup victory. They nearly won it in 2015 against Georgia in a 17-16 final. Quite a fascinating game. I was at that game as well. So that's Pool C: Wales, Australia, Fiji, Europe 1, and the final qualifying winner, formerly known as the repage. And so that pool is, I think, the most intriguing from a competitive standpoint. And not that I predict the winner of that pool will win the cup, but I think that we are likely to see a fascinating struggle for who finishes on top there. Fiji's tough. Australia can be tough. Wales typically does well, but then chokes in the knockout stages. And in Pool D, we have England, the Brave Blossoms from Japan, the Pumas from Argentina, Oceania 1, and the Americas 2 team, which is likely to be Uruguay or Canada, based on current situations. So there you go, folks. That is the pool draw for the Rugby World Cup 2023 in France. I hope that you have a favorite team who you're pulling for. Of course, my favorite team is the Springboks, and that's who I'll be pulling for as they seek to be the first team to ever win 4 William Webb Ellis Trophy titles. That will be in 2023 in France, about 10 different cities with venues around the country. And we'll see, excuse me, folks. We'll see what happens there in 2023. Anyway, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you're not a subscriber to Chris White Africa, we are hungry for subscribers here on Chris White Africa, and we hope that you enjoy the Rugby Ascendant segment, of which this video is part, as well as the live stream, which I just completed during the pool draw. So feel free to become a subscriber. Smash the subscription button right down there if you're on YouTube. If you're on one of the other platforms, then join in whatever fashion is appropriate, because I may put this video on some of my other platforms, as it seems increasingly likely that YouTube is becoming a less desirable platform, unfortunately, for a variety of reasons. So folks have to look for alternative places to put their content, and I am amongst the content creators doing that. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to say something about this. Happy to read it. I try to read all comments. It isn't always possible, but I do my best. And finally, I ask you to smash the like button, or if you're on Rumble, give a rumble, whatever it takes to show your approval or your interest or your like for this video. Thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it. And there you have it. The top of the 4 pools. We have New Zealand in Pool A, South Africa Pool B, Wales Pool C, and England Pool D, followed by all the other teams that have joined them. And there you have it. 5 teams, 4 pools, 20 teams for the 2023 Rugby World Cup taking place in France. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you in France in 2023. And with any good fortune, we'll see the Springboks lifting up that William Webb Ellis Trophy once again. All right, folks, thanks a lot for your patronage and your support. God bless, and have a good day.